If your homeboy say, hey, blame everything on me, blame everything on me, is it snitching if you go to court and you blame everything on them? If that's the understanding y'all had. Yo, what's up? It's your boy Ron P back with another video. So today, I'm not even gonna hold y'all up. Today we talking about legendary New Orleans hot boy, original hot boy rapper BG, and how they saying that he is snitch now. Like all of these snitch allegations and everything is coming out with a lot of these rappers. What's his name? 1090 Jake. He be on it. He be putting out documents and footage and all kinds of stuff for these rappers who are allegedly snitching nowadays. All right. So right now we're gonna talk about BG. Last video we talked about King Yella, FBG Butter, and all of that. So they saying that BG snitched. And I honestly, and this ain't even for content, this ain't clout chasing or nothing. Like I got a genuine question, and I'm gonna ask y'all, and I'm gonna need y'all to put y'all answers in the comment because I really want to know how y'all feel about it. But so they saying BG snitch, and I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory. Now, if you don't know, BG was sentenced to 14 years. He did 11. He just been out a few months, and that's not the case that they saying he snitched in. The case that they saying he snitched in was before he even got locked up and sentenced. I think this was back in November 2009. But so this is the rundown. It was BG and two other guys in the car. I guess from my understanding, the one guy, his last name's Washington, if I'm not mistaken, he was the fall guy. He was the guy who, I'm gonna take the charge if we get pulled over, da 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 da. I guess this was understood amongst them. You know, we get pulled over, these is your guns, this is your drugs. Well, they get pulled over, and there was guns in the car. I think it was 3 guns and like a bunch of weed or something. The guy, his name's Washington or whatever, he says, hey, this is all mine. This is all mine. He admitted. So then they asked, at the scene, they asked BG and they asked the other guy, whose stuff is this? They say, hey, this ain't our stuff. He said it was his, right? Everything was smooth. The guy who took the charge was allegedly offered like 2 to 3 years or something like that, right? Everybody like, cool. Well, that ended up not being the deal. They ended up saying he could get more time than that. But BG and the other guy still sticking to their story. Wait, we had an understanding. These is your guns. This is your drug, da da. So their story never changed. So BG even gets the guy a lawyer. And I guess BG lawyer was just like, hey, it ain't 2 to 3 years no more. It's going to be more time. So he fired BG lawyer, and he decides, he want to take it to trial. But BG and his partner, they still standing on, we had this agreement up front. We know what it was. You said you was going to take the charge. These is your guns, blah, blah. So they're still saying, hey, these is your guns. This is your drugs or whatever. So dude is looking like, y'all putting me in a situation now. Y'all putting me in a situation. It was cool if I took the plea and I got less time, but now I'm getting more time. So you know what? These ain't my guns now. These ain't my drugs now. But BG and them said, hey, it still is. Now, my question to y'all, if your homeboy say, hey, blame everything on me, blame everything on me, is it snitching if you go to court and you blame everything on them? If that's the understanding y'all had. But see, what happens is the internet gets a hold of the paperwork and not the backstory, the full story. So if your homeboy say, yeah, put everything on me, and we got to understand it, right? Put everything on you. Yeah. Put it on me. And then I put it on you because it's documented black and white, and all it's going to say is, BG's name is Christopher Dorsey. So if it'll say Christopher Dorsey testified that the guns was Washington's and the drugs was Washington. Even though Washington said, I'm taking the charge, is it still snitching if y'all have that understanding? And I think that's the thing that a lot of people, when you call someone a snitch, you can't just go by that black and white. You have to know the backstory. Now, if they was together and everybody had their own guns and stuff like that, and I'm gonna take my gun, I'm gonna take my charge, you take your charge, you take your charge. Well, we get pulled over and I just be like, no, that ain't my gun, that's his gun. Yes, that's snitching. Putting something on somebody else, whether it's true or not, whether you don't take your charge and you allow someone else to go down because you're saying that your gun is their gun. Yes, that's snitching, but that's a legit question. I want to know, like, how do y'all feel about somebody saying, I'll take the charge for everything, and then when you go to court, you have to say, yeah, it's his. So I think that people should do more backstories, or dig deeper into the paperwork, because the paperwork may say, yeah, he told and testified, but maybe that defendant wanted him to tell and testify against him so he could stay out and take care of, his family and look out for him or whatever, So I don't know. So that's BG situation, but everybody's just looking at it as he testified. He testified. This goes back to what I said in my previous video, which I'll link in the description. Don't put yourself in situations where you have to make these kind of decisions, because again, like I said in the last video, the streets is not fair. You're going to be in all kinds of unfair situations. So don't even put yourself in situations like that, or get into that kind of lifestyle if you're not willing to deal with some unfair you know what I'm saying, or you're not willing to deal with consequences, or you're not willing to deal with backlash of your choices. So I just really feel like I can't say he's a snitch, but if you just look at the black and white, the fact that I think the issue was, and I'm not sure, but I think 1090 Jake's issue was, it's one thing at the scene when you're talking to the police and y'all are like, yeah, these ain't mine, and he's like, it's his or whatever, and you gave that statement. I think his issue was going to court, to actual court, and testifying. So that's another question. Like, is it snitching because you went to court to testify? Is it snitching? Is it not snitching because at the scene he was just like, no, these ain't mine. They hit. Like, I'm not understanding the in depth of that situation, because it's like I said, it's not just black and white, But on paper, yes, he testified. And we all know when you testify in court, that's a form of cooperation to help convict individual. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think BG is a snitch? Do y'all think that he did what they agreed on doing, even though the paperwork say testified? Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel if y'all want to see more content like this, and make sure you hit me up in all my social medias, in the description box. And until next time, streets ain't fair, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.